This is the Chazara of Gemara and Eruvin, Daf Yomi. Baruch Hashem, so happy to hear many people jumped on the Chazara system. If you're one of those people, share with a friend. You all realize how 10 more minutes of quickly reading through the Gemara really solidifies it in our brains. Of course, we have to do even more, but at least this little snapshot helps a lot. Says the Mishnah, Yud Gimel Amud Beis, HaKayir Sha'amuru Chavak Tei L'Kabel Riach. Now we're going to discuss what is the din of a kaira, of a horizontal beam that is permitting a mavui. Says the Mishnah has to be wide enough to accept a brick. A brick is half of a brick. A 3 tefach brick means it's 1.5 tefachim. It's enough if the width of a kaira is 1 tefach. Why did they lekabel riach? So it accept the brick on its width. Wide enough to accept the brick. Ubriya and strong enough to and strong enough to accept the brick. Rabbi Yehuda Bria, no, it doesn't have to be strong enough as long as it's wide enough. It can be made flimsy as long as it's 1 tefach wide. Then we view it as if it's metal. Akuma if it's banter, we view it as if it's straight. We view it if it's squared. As long as the circumference is 3, then the diameter is going to be 1. It says the Gemara, Yudalim and Aleph Tefach, Tefach Umechzabai. Why do you need 1 Tefach? You need a Tefach and a half, because the brick is Tefach and a half. Even the Rachav, the Kabbalah Tefach, no, once it's wide enough for a Tefach, so you can put a little cement on either side, but kaim on it and hold the brick. Has to be strong enough to accept the brick, but the pegs that hold it in the kaira, does not have to be strong enough to hold the beam and the brick. But Rav Chisda argues, and he says, Rav Sheshes comes on Rav Sheshes, and he says, you put a kaira there, and then you think you're being smart, you spread a mat over it, to give in a kaira shleisha, but the mat doesn't go all the way to the ground, it's 3 tefachim above the ground. Kaira ain't kan, mechitz ain't kan, you got nothing. Kaira ain't kan, da mechitz, it's covered, you don't see it, there's no hacker. Mechitz ain't kan, da mechitz is being bike and by. Why? Because the goats can walk right through it, it's more than 3 tefachim, there's no love it. Taner Rabbanan kaira is in a kaisel zevi and a gas because zevi. The kaira that comes from one wall doesn't hit the other wall. They don't touch each other. Shleishas of less than 3 tefachim ain't sachlavi kaira cheres. Shleishas are chlavi kaira cheres. Why? Because no more love it. Shem gamliel mer of course. Pachs midalin is chlavi kaira cheres. Arba is chlavi kaira cheres. And similarly, base kairas amatima is 2 twin kairas. Each beam is not wide enough. It's not 1 tefach wide, but together, together, each one's a half a tefach. Ain't chlavi kaira cheres. Them labs are chlavi kaira cheres. Shem gamliel mer calls the riach la arka. You split the brick the other way around, the 3 tefach way. Shleisha. Let's see if 2 beams, 1 up top, 1 down lower. We allow them to move as if they're next to each other. But be careful, the top one can't be above 20 and the bottom one can't be below 10, because we know that above 20 amas or below 10 tefachim is no longer allowed to matter up the mavui. Amar Abaye, you know, we see from Yisrael Yehuda, Rabbi Yisrael Yehuda, he only holds like his father in one. Rabbi Yehuda that we allow the beams to move. Rav Yehuda held above 20 is no longer. Rav Yehuda held above 20 is kosher. Rav Yehuda in Lamal Mechaf low. Rav Yehuda Aimer Rachavav Bishain Bri if it's wide enough, even if it's not strong enough. Matzla Rav Yehuda Lechibar Rav Kamid Rav Rachavav Bishain Bri taught this din. Amar Lei, you responded as Rachavav Bri. No, you read it wrong. It means it has to be strong enough. Amar Rav Loimer Rav Rachava Arba Aval Bishain Bria. What are you talking about? He said if it's wide enough, even if it's not strong enough. Says Marachavar Ba Shiny, that case was 4 tefachim wide. That's what doesn't have to be strong enough. But it's not 4 tefachim wide, then it doesn't have to be strong enough. Aishal Kash made out of reeds. Micah Mashal was the Chiddush. I mean, I'm right now. I know how we already learned that we say right and we view it as if it's metal. I mean, Shalom, you think maybe if it's only the right min, but a wrong min, we don't say right, and that is the Chiddush. Akuma, if it's bent, right in a Segili, Peshuta, we view it as if it is straight. Pshita, that is Pasha. Kamash Lan says, you might know what the Chiddush is. Good of Zera, Damar of Zera. First white line. If the beam itself is in the mavoi, but the bent part goes out of the mavoi. It's within 20. It's above 10 tefachim. We view it as if we get rid of that bent part. If there's not 3 tefachim in between, when you cut off the bent part, Because you're not going to have lava. It says that's also pasha. What's the chiddush? No, the chiddush is when part of it juts out outside the mavi. We should be afraid. You might come say, the beam didn't end. You go follow all the way out. You're going to carry outside of the mavi. Kamash malan, that it's going to be kasha as long as it's less than 3 tvachim. If it's a circle, if it's a cylinder, we viewed it if it's squared off, so 3 tvachim circumference is 1 tefach width. Why do we need this? He says, he's teaching me math. If you have 3 tefach circumference, it's 1 tefach width. How do you know that? Rav Yochanan Markruk, the pasuk teaches, says by Shlomo HaMelech that he made the ocean. He made an ocean that is 10 tefachim wide, misfasat from lip to lip. Agul, and it was round. It was 5 amas tall. The kav shleishim ba'ama Yosef Isai, and there was a 30 amma reed, 30 amma circumference of it. So says the Gemara, so we see that we have a 10 by 10 and 30 amas around. We see the circumference is 3 times the length and the width. Says the Gemara, 1 second, what about the lip? It's going to be a little bit more. Above is Fasas, Baruch Shoshan, it was very thin lip, because Beit Chsev. Vav Tevach is Fasas, Gemaisa Kos, Baruch Shoshan, Albayim Bas Yachel, we see a very thin lip. Vika Mashu, what about the Mashu? Kichashim, Mikavik Chashiv, you measure the 30 on the inside. Tanya, let's go into this ocean that Shlomo HaMelech made. Rav Chia, Tanya Rav Chia, Yam Shazal Shlomo Yamachzik, Meya V'chamshem Mikvayis, Yot El 150 Mikvayis, Dair Mechli, Mikvay Kama Havai, Arbaim Sa. Moving on to Yidala Mebez, Mikvah. You have to put your whole body in the main mikvah, Kol Besarai. Mayim Shekol Gufa Elamem. We learn that as we water the entire body could go in the Kama. How much is that? Amal Amarum Shalosh Amos, 1 by 1 by 3 V'Sher Chacham, May Mikvah Arbaim Sa, 40 Sa, Kama Avalu, Chamish Mea. So how big was this ocean that Shlomo HaMelech made? 10 by 10 by 5, 500 amos Karmidi. Let's last, Meya. For 300 amos, you can have 100 amos. Why? Because again, it's 3 times. So you can have 100, not just 3 times, because it's 1 by 1 by 3, each amos 3 amma area. So for 300 amos, you can be able to make 100 mikvahs. Let me have a chamshin for 150, chamshin. You can make 50. So says the Gemara, chamshin zayya. So why does Shlomo HaMelech have to make a 500 amos? Should be enough with 450 to get 150 mikvahs. Says the Gemara, honey me the beravu, and that's only if it's a square. Yam just a Shlomo Yigulayo was a circle. Mechli gamam ruva. How much bigger is a square than a circle? Ravia. It's a quarter bigger. So now let's do the math again. Larba meya for 400 amois. Meya, you get 100 mikvahs. Le meya for 100 amois. Eser v'chamshin, you get 25. Honey meya v'eser v'chamshin. Now you only have 125 mikvahs. You missed 25. Havelu. Tani Ramer Chazal Yamshay says Shlema. The first wide line. Sholish amos tachlenis. The bottom 3 amois meravos were squares. Sholish ta'im elyonis agulais. The top 2 were circles. And therefore, that's how you get the 150 amos. I understand that you couldn't put the circle in the bottom to because the pasuk says that the lip was a circle. Why are you telling me that the top circle part of this ocean that Shlomo HaMelech made was 2 amos? Maybe it was only 1. Because we know that it held 2,000 is bas. Bas kamahavi. How big is this measurement called a bas? 3 sadach. That it's a tenth of a cord. 150 times 40 is going to be 6,000 gavri. And what are you talking about? But it says it held 3,000 bas. Holy gutcha, that's including the heap above it. The heap is only a third more. That the heap is a third more. So if it holds 2,000 bas, with the heap it's going to hold 3,000 bas. You have a box, or you have a reed basket, a straw, a reed, or a cistern or Alexandrian boat. That will be even as a bottom. And it holds 40 sabalach of wet quantity. Already called Karayim 2 core of Yavich. It's still going to be tar. What's the proof? We see that Karayim 2 core is going to be 60 saw. So we see that the heap of when you have dry liquids, it goes in a heap. The heap is a third more. 40 saw of wet is 60 saw of dry. And this is the end of the proof that we see that the circumference is 3 times the length, and therefore when it comes to a kaira, if it's 3 tvachim circumference, it's going to be 1 tefach width, and then that's going to be kosher. Says the Mishnah lechayim. That's the end of a kaira. Now we get into the lechayim. Lechayim shamar gavayin asar tvachim has to be 10 tefach tall. Rachman avin kosher has to be any amount of thickness. Here's the Ramer. Rachman gimel tvachim has to be tvachim wide. Lechayim shamru v'chulu. Leimot tanan sami Rav Elazar. Sounds like Rav Elazar. Sounds like you need to have 2 lechis. Tamar lechayim bina. You need to have 2 lechis. Like my lechayim down. It doesn't mean that the lechis of the world. The yachi kaira nami. The Mishnah about kaira nisli kairais. My kaira is kairas down. The previous Mishnah spoke about a kaira kaira, it said ha-kaira, just one kaira. Why did it say kairis? Tell me it's referring to all the kairis in the world. Smart says, you're right. You know what the Mishnah means? That lechi, the Rav and the Chama argued, that is, Gavay Nazar Tzvachim Rachman Rav and Kol Shu has to be 10 Tzvachim tall and the thickness of any bit amount. Kama Kol Shu, and Rav Chia, if you look at Sarah, believe in a string of a garment, any teeny little amount. Tano is lechi lechatzi mavi. Let's say you build a lechi in the middle of the mavi. In lo lechatzi mavi, you can only carry up until the lechi. Pshita. Elema yesh lechatzi mavi. No, the chiddush is that you have until that point. Hanami pshita. It's also pasha. Maybe you're going to come to carry into the whole mavi and carry past the lechi. Kamashlan then no, you at least have the first half until the lechi. Let's say it's 3 tvachim off the ground, the 3 tvachim away from the wall. The last like it's no good. I feel it. Like Kamar, Chiddush that we see if Shin Gamliel holds love, normally a 4 tvachim. Rav here Shin Gamliel holds is 3 tvachim, because on the ground, Gedi and biking by the goats go walk through is only going to be 3 tvachim. Therefore, we see that the lechi has to always be within 3 tvachim of the ground or 3 tvachim of the wall. I'm going to pick it up from here tomorrow.